Well, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, the world of YouTube. Actually, good morning in my area. It's almost midnight or past midnight. My name's Aaron. This little channel is called Christian Men Going Their Own Way. I've been kind of absent for a while. I've been focused on other things and tried to take on quite a large project and did not succeed in doing so. So I'm picking up the pieces and carrying on. I've just been observing things for a while. I haven't had a whole lot to say, but I've had some thoughts via the observations. And this video is for all men, but if there's any Christian men that run across this video for the first time, you're probably curiously checking out Men Going Their Own Way, or MGTOW, whichever way you pronounce it. But yes, there are men that are walking away from a bad deal in this current societal situation. Meaning that is being with a woman, whatever shape or form you so choose, is a financially, numerically, and emotionally a bad deal in this society right now. So you start adding everything up, the costs, the risks, the amount of money that it takes to have a family is astronomical. The medical bills, all the insurance, all the overhead. That's just one aspect of it. The women's behavior is despicable these days. We're at between 75 and 90% divorce rate, depending on the demographic. So. And I guess where I wanted to go down with this, or go with this video is, or the topic right now I want to discuss, or have an open discussion with you guys, and you can respond in the comment section, and is control and the subjugation of a man's authority, from a biblical perspective, of course. And I want to preface this way. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. You know, many people have painted him out to be the angry man with a stick up in the sky, waiting to knock you flat, knock you on your ass. But that's not God. God is up there saying, "Go, man, go! Figure it out. You know, you can do this. You can overcome." That's our Father. He's wanting everything to work out for us, but he has also given us warnings to avoid many pitfalls in life. So if you do not honor God in your life by putting Him as the authority, you yourself are a God unto yourself, meaning you are your own set of laws. And the problem with that mentality is someone else will challenge you and run over you when they point out your flaws, and your hypocrisy or whatever it is. So I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but if you don't believe in a higher authority that has given us a guidelines and rules and observations to guide us through this mess we're in down here, I think you're going to be pretty short-sighted and wind up in the ditch. So, but anyways, this whole men going their own way is a reaction to women elevating their status into the control of the man, and then the man subjugating himself to the woman. just observing the behavior of women when they don't get what they want, and the way they lead men around. And there's no one's fault but the man for putting up with this stuff. And I wish, if you Christian men out there, whatever man that's listening to this, if you open your eyes and realize if you gotta ask your woman permission for anything, you are subjected to her. So, and that even boils down to, or goes back to the point in time when you guys first met. You might have asked her out, which means you asked her permission. You made yourself subject to her. And that may come as a shock to you, but you may ask, well, how do you ask permission, or how do you get a woman? That's the grand paradox we live in. Sorry, I got mosquitoes all over the place in the shop here. That's the grand paradox we live in, where something's not right, and we can't quite put our finger on it. But if we study the Bible and what happened back in the Garden of Eden when the punishments were laid down on Adam and Eve differently, I might add. Where was I going with this? But I lost my train of thought. Pardon me. Get too many mosquito bites. I might have to clip this and re-edit it. Anyways, the grand paradox where we can't exactly put our finger on it, and how do we get, as a man, how do I approach a woman? Well, I can't just pick her up and take her with, or can I? I think tradition had, in the Christian tradition, if I may, I'm not a traditional Christian by any means, but what a lot of the religious institutions that flew under the name of Christianity, what they had handed us down was, back in the day, and there's still a little bit of it going on, the man was to ask the girl's authority if he could take her out. That would be her father, if there was a father around. And if there was a mother around, I don't know. Or if there was not a father but a mother, I don't have an answer for you. But all I know is the proper way to do it was ask the authority figure of the woman, if you follow me. Because anything else, if you're asking permission from her, you've already subjugated yourself to her, and the whole path of your life is going down this angle. You're not on the target anymore where you thought you should be or where you want to be, but you're going to wind up in the ditch, and she's going to have you under her thumb her whole life. And I don't know, it's just the way most examples of married men that I know were started out as were the man subjected himself to her, asking her out, and he got her permission. So, and these relationships were always teetering on the men having to dance, or depending on the men having to perform like a circus monkey to keep her happy. So ultimately exhausting the man and his resources, or never fully able to keep her happy, when ultimately the female was created, the woman was created as a helper, a suitable helper to the man to fulfill his calling and vision. So, and the most basic vision of that was the family structure and reproduction and whatever else. And if you start thinking you're more important than that, well, you got to realize you're just like everybody else. So you hear all these Christian guys saying, well, I got this calling and all this stuff. Well, sure you do. What are you doing about it? Making a mess? That's what I usually see those people creating. Most of the time, you see young preachers get up there and start just, they go to school, they get this classification as preacher and all this stuff, minister, the ministry license and all this other nonsense, and they don't have a clue about life. If it was, in my opinion, you gotta listen. If you're gonna be a preacher, you gotta have some life experience under your belt. And anyways, back off. That's another rabbit trail to go down, rabbit hole. But where was I going with this? Back on to male subjugation to the female. Yeah, as a Christian man, stand back and examine where you're at. I'm not telling you, if you're a married man and you try making changes to remove yourself from the position of subject into the position of authority, watch out. You're going to see a can of worms open, and you're going to see the lid fly off. What's underneath your woman, or what she's comprised of, and what's inside. And maybe she would like it, but we're finding out that it is impossible to please a woman, and got one. And I think I was listening to RPM Red Pill Married. He read a column or an article from a feminist woman who is saying that her husband does everything right and she's bored and tired with him, and she's waiting for him to screw up, essentially. And so you got over here, you got the guy that does everything she wants, does everything right, and she's not satisfied with him. And you go on the opposite spectrum of, you got the asshole over here that treats her like crap, ignores her, probably even beats her, and she is attracted to him like crazy, but she's not happy with him because all he does is make a mess. And so, but she's still attracted to that authority figure because he extends his brutal authority over her, and she's somewhat, I don't know, enticed by that, if you will. So it's this paradox of us men are down here. We're trying to figure out. We are looking for. When we go see a woman and we wanted to, do the right thing, not shack up with her, but put a ring on it. We're so excited. We found our missing rib. Essentially, is why we get so excited, and women don't understand that. I don't think why men get excited about head over heels for someone they don't even know, just by their looks. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I might have to edit this. I'm not doing very good tonight. It's been a while. My focus hasn't been on MGTOW. It hasn't been directly on making videos. Just get buried way too much work. But back to this paradox of, we're so excited to possibly be with our missing rib, the woman, the one created just for us. But yet there's something that's not quite right. And that all goes back to what happened in the Garden of Eden with the punishments that were laid out. So what is the answer to all this? MGTOW is the best answer from a non-biblical standpoint, but yet it mirrors what the Bible has to say. The Apostle Paul says, the man who does not marry the virgin does even better. And he also says he wishes everybody was like him, but he knows that it's not possible. But he wanted to spare us many troubles in this life. You know, he's basically alluding to, if you get married, you're going to have troubles. And this is why we see it now clear as day, what's going on. But just the general disrespect to men who do everything right for their wife, subjugate themselves to their wife, and yet, on the other hand, the asshole gets more respect than anything, but leads them both into a ditch and crashes. So it's a train wreck either way. So what do? We don't do anything. We just live. We just do what we like now. If there was a woman, and I thought about this here, if there was a woman, just hypothetical, that you did find attractive, but there's nothing, if you're going to maintain your authority status, you can't ask her out. You can't do anything like that. You're going to subjugate yourself to her. So she would have to approach you, and you would have to make that decision if you wanted to allow her into your life. Not you into hers, her into your life. That's where we got to be with this stuff. And I'm not advocating, I'm not advocating going back to the plantation at all. There's no way. So it's not cost effective. There's too much risk involved. Juice is not worth the squeeze. So that's just kind of some of my thoughts here. Just miscellaneous rambling, trying to make something fit together here. But we just got to realize and identify at what point do we start to subject ourselves to some other authority or create an authority figure above us. And when we ask somebody permission to take you, in the case of women, if we ask them permission to take them out or do whatever, you're bowing to them. So I don't have the answer. If you're interested in a woman, how to approach them, I don't have that answer. But you got to realize you're subjecting yourself to them. So, and in this day and age, it's not good, because they have the authority of the state behind them and everything else, and they can make your life a mess. And someday that'll change. As RPM says, when the power goes out, feminism goes out right with it. It's exactly right. Everything in society is the foundation is from the man, what he has created. And as that book or whatever it is, Atlas Shrugged, where you got that Atlas is the Greek mythology god Atlas is holding up the world. He's finally shrugged it off, threw it off to the side. It ain't worth it. He can't do it. It's not for him. So yeah, I don't know. That's just some of my thoughts right now. The control, putting yourself under somebody else's control. And that's all this boils down to, is control. Who are you going to submit to God, or are you going to submit to a woman? So, and like I say, I don't know if there's any way outside of asking her dad permission, as he is the authority figure. And once she's moved out of her parents' house, I think it's too late. Because she's already gone off, and she's out there and in the world. I don't want to call it the real world, because it's just a circus. I don't think it's her place to be out there. If she's going to be independent, it's fine. But if the woman wants to pursue a family and a career at the same time, it's not going to work. She's gonna have kids, whatever, and then pawn them off at the daycare, pawn them off to the television, video games, just to pacify the kids, because the woman has other things that are a priority other than the kids. and that is not a mother at all. Those kind of people, those kind of women, they're not mothers, they're not parents. They're just temporary incubators. Really about it. So if you're pursuing a woman with a career, bad news. Bad news. Anyways, so I'll wrap it up right here. That's more of my miscellaneous ramblings. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Yeah, I'll give you a little tour of what I'm working on right now behind me. So what I have here, this is an engine dyno. I don't have it all hooked up yet, but this is a Power Solutions International 8.8 liter V8. It is a knockoff, it's a knockoff of the General Motors 8.1 liter, commonly called the Workhorse Vortec. And this was a complete recasting of the motor, but by Power Solutions International. It's their own product. And everything bolts right up just the same, but this is a 535 cubic inch. It's also turbocharged. Go around the other side, see the turbo a little better. This is specifically a propane / natural gas engine. There's the turbocharger. And this is going to, I got to pull the heads off and install different cylinder heads, because these cylinder heads never came with the injector bosses drilled. The other heads do have the injector bosses drilled, so I can stick liquid propane injectors in there to run a different fuel system. So this motor makes, they're advertised at 261 horsepower at 1800 RPM on natural gas. And they say it'll run about 1,000 hours like that, full power, and then it'll throw a rod or something. I'm suspecting because the piston skirts aren't quite long enough. So we'll see what happens here. But aspirated, meaning no turbocharger, they'll run between 20 and 30,000 hours at about 50 to 60% load, or maybe a little more. But this is going in a truck and whatever else. The turbocharger is going to get replaced with a different style. But over here, I'm trying to build manifolds for the turbocharger. The exhaust system is going to wrap around the back side of the engine and over top the intake manifold, and so all that will fit under the hood of my truck. So yeah, that is me going my own way, doing what I like. So anyways, guys, happy trails, go MGTOW, keep your heads up.